On the news, Senate queries 4.2 billion naira allocation to unverified workers at Ajakuta Steel Company. Federal government working with the National Assembly on 30% youth quota in government positions. Plus, planned nationwide protest. Lawmakers call for dialogue as best approach to engage government. Good evening and welcome to Parliamentary News. I am Muhammad Rabiu Ali. In line with the federal government resolve to revive the steel sector, Senate has opened investigation into the current state of the Ajakuta Steel Company Limited. At the commencement of the hearing, the legislators raised questions on the 4.2 billion naira appropriated to the company for personnel costs for what they call unverified workers in the 2024 budget. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports.
Ajakuta Steel Company has been out of operation for close to 4 decades, but is alleged to be enjoying budgetary allocations. In the 2024 appropriation, 4.2 billion naira was allocated for personnel, and that was the center of attention for legislators at this investigative hearing.
Somebody must be paying the salaries. How do you fund them, and under what heading?
We also have to look at the share, sales and purchase agreements between the federal government of Nigeria and Global Infrastructure Nigeria Limited and Global Steel Holdings Limited. Also investigate the extent of the compliance and performance of GINL in line with the terms of concession agreement.
The chairman of the ad hoc committee says Senate would be diligent in its engagement with all related stakeholders to get the steel mill back in shape. In another development, the Senate says the bill seeking regulation and documentation of domestic workers is to prevent security breach and human rights violation.
Most of the domestic workers are predominantly women, very vulnerable and subjected to all manner of abuses. So the intent of the bill is to sanitize the sector. At the same time, even create a new economy.
Stakeholders at the public hearing were in agreement that regulating the industry will bring sanity. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
The federal government says it is working closely to the leadership of the National Assembly on a bill seeking 30% youth quota in government positions, as approved by the Federal Executive Council in March this year. Minister of Youth Development, Jamila Ibrahim Biu, stated this at the opening ceremony of a town hall meeting between the House of Representatives and youth groups towards addressing challenges facing the nation's youth. She said the initiative is to ensure that young Nigerians are accorded a substantial role in decision-making processes in government. Speaker of the House, Tajuddin Abbas, promised that the resolutions of the town hall meeting will be presented to President Bola Tinubu for actionable steps towards meeting the yearnings and aspirations of youth in the country. And now to state legislature. The Nasarawa State House of Assembly has appealed to the sponsors of a planned protest on August 1st to shun the idea in order to allow peace to reign. The appeal was made at a plenary under matters of urgent public importance. Adam Abdulkadir reports that a bill for a law to amend the Nasarawa State Youth Agency for Empowerment Scheme, NAIS, also scaled second reading.
Shunning the planned nationwide protest by Nigerian youth for the peace and interests of all, member representing Toto Gadabuke Muhammad Garba Isimbabe said is the best. He maintained that if proper measures is not taken, it can lead to violence and disruption, undermining social stability and public safety.
Nobody is saying that you have no right to protest. The right to protest is enshrined in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Yes. I therefore feel this arm of government, who is the closest to the people, who has the grassroots as our major stakeholders, to please, within the confines of the law, try as much as possible to lend our voices to our youths. not to join in this strike.
Other lawmakers in their various submissions also led their voices, saying constructive dialogue and participation in democratic processes often more effective and sustainable solution to grievances.
I also want to suggest that maybe state government should talk to Mr. President on the need, maybe, for him to rescind back to his decision, because what prompted all this discussion today is about fuel subsidy, removing that fuel subsidy.
See fire burning. I think the best way is to try to see how we can quench the fire, not to pour more petrol to the fire. So we're appealing to the general public and the entire youth to reason with the State Assembly to see reason why they should set aside the protest.
Yes.
We have to go back and tell them what is happening in governance, what the governor is doing to alleviate their life, what the president is doing to alleviate their life. We have the responsibility to go and explain to them, Mr. Speaker.
Yes.
So, Mr. Speaker, it is right that whoever brought this suggestion that we should go back and speak to our people is very right. We will go back and speak to them and tell them about the program and policies of the government of Nigeria and the government of Nasarawa State. And we are saying no to protest.
All honorable members of this National State House of Assembly, you are to go back to your constituency. Everyone should go to his constituency, his or her constituency, and have a dialogue with your constituents. Let them know that protest is not a solution. We should avoid this protest that is coming up.
In the meantime, a bill to amend Nasarawa State Agency for Youth Empowerment Scheme, NIAS, gets second reading. While highlighting the significance of the bill, member representing Lafayette Central, Solomon Yakubu Akwasheki, deposited that the amendment bill will focus on education, skill development, and improve on community services that can empower youth to bring about positive change.
Education should be included in this bill so that our children or our youth within the community, they should be able to learn something from the period they will be on this agency.
So we should put it in the bill that they should be given the minimum wage so that we can encourage them.
In Lafia, Adams Abdul Kadri.
Similarly, the Speaker at Taraba State House of Assembly, John Kizoto Bonzena, has cautioned Tarabans to disassociate themselves from the planned nationwide protest slated for 1st of August 2024. The appeal is coming at the backdrop of the consequences that might trail the protest. Godwin Enalego completes the report.
Tagged "End Bad Governance," the protest, according to the planners, is to kick against hunger, food inflation, and high cost of governance in Nigeria, among others. The Speaker, John Kizito Bonzena, while cautioning Tarabans against their participation in the impending protest, urged them to rather engage in dialogue with relevant authorities towards finding a lasting solution to the problem.
We sincerely acknowledge the fact that we are really going through a tough period. But the issue here is that, is the protest the answer?
While acknowledging that there is hunger and food inflation in the land, the Speaker maintained that the issue of protest is not the answer and called on all Tarabans to give Mr. President and the Governor of Taraba State more time to engage with the planners.
We are calling on Tarabians particularly to disregard this call and give the President more time since he has started engaging with our leaders. And let's talk to our brothers, let's talk to our sisters to give peace a chance.
The Speaker, John Kizito Bonzena, also extended his call to the local government chairmen in the state to sit up and engage the youths to dissociate themselves from the planned protest, as it is not the best way to pay back to Mr. President, who just granted local government financial autonomy.
You have been jubilating that autonomy has been granted to you. Will you sit down and watch youths in your local government areas protesting, destroying the little resources, little structures of government? Is that how you intend to pay the president back?
The women and the youth are always in the receiving end. We ask for the government to come through for us, and we believe that we have a governor that is always standing by us in this state.
I'd like to stop here and call on our teeming youth and people of this country. Let's come together and confront the challenges facing all of us. Nobody is finding things easy in this country. Majority of Nigerians, over 95%, depends on daily income. They have to go out daily to work and get what they will eat. Now, once this demonstration starts, these people are not going to be there again. How will they feed their families?
Experts have been advising against the protest, saying it is capable of creating anarchy, chaos, and destruction to lives and property in the land. From the Assembly, Godwin Inalebu, NTA News.
And with the fallout of the recent Supreme Court judgment on local government autonomy, Nigerians have been advocating similar legal tests be extended to state legislative arm by the Apex Court for good governance and true federalism. Isa Mohammed in this report takes a look at ways the Supreme Court can also intervene to grant autonomy to state assemblies. The report.
Findings show that in the most adopted democratic government like that of the United States, Supreme Court has the power of judicial review, which allows it to interpret laws and government actions, including those related to state assembly autonomy. However, the extent of its intervention depends on the specific circumstances and legal issues involved. In Nigeria, finding also reveals that the Supreme Court can intervene in state assembly autonomy. In 2020, a federal high court ruled that the Nigerian Financial Intelligence Units should oversee the financial transaction of the state legislature, granting them financial autonomy from the executive arm. However, this ruling then was appealed by some state governors, while some state assemblies also did not support the idea. It is also at the corridor of the Supreme Court to interpret the Constitution and decides on matters related to the separation of powers and federalism. If a case is brought before it, the appellate courts can potentially grant financial autonomy to state legislature, ensuring they receive direct funding from the federation account, just like the local government areas. Constitutional lawyers, public affairs analysts, and federal legislators give more insights on the powers of the appellate courts and the Constitution in these and other contexts.
It depends. I don't know whether the matter is before the Supreme Court or elsewhere. So I don't think at this point I will take position or side on that decision. Everybody knows that the Supreme Court has the veto power. When they make a decision, that they end. There's no way you can go further on the matter that they take decision on it. And we as a parliamentarians, I said we don't intervene or we don't interfere into issues that are before the court. By anything, I repeat, anything before us, it relates to the Constitution. We either amend or concur with what was before us.
Back to, I think, the amendment that was done about 4 years ago. Now, all legislators are independent of themselves. Go back, it has been amended. The Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria was amended long ago. So state assemblies are now on their own. Financially, they have financial autonomy. Yes. Just like the National Assembly that we have our financial autonomy. Yes. So it's the same thing. The legislators the Constitution has already provided them. State legislators are those who take the responsibility of doing the lawmaking for that state. So they have a job to do. So you don't need any interpretation from the Constitution on that. It's there in the Constitution and they are doing their job.
They believe that such a decision will promote legislative independence, reduce executive dominance, and enhance the overall system of check and balance in Nigerian governance. In Abuja, Isa Muhammad, NTA News.
And joining us to throw more light on the issue of state legislative autonomy is Mr. Etanembe Benedict. Well, going by the Supreme Court judgment on local government autonomy, Can it equally intervene to give state legislature financial autonomy done to local governments?
It depends on how the charges, how they distribute the charges, you know. It is almost impossible, you know, to say houses of assembly should get first line charge, you know, from the federal government. No, you know, they are within the states, you know, so governors will always be in charge, you know, of actually making them, giving their finances to them. But, and I put this word but, the issue is not about that the houses of assembly are not independent. It's about the attitude of governors, the disposition of governors as to their state houses of assembly. They are overbearing and they punish them in terms of withholding their allocations, their finances. As government passes their budget, the legislature, they have their own budget, you know. It should be given to them directly so that they can manage themselves, you know, like that. But you see, it's because probably we are not doing the proper democracy.
How can the state legislature autonomy strengthen good governance at state level?
The area of dispute is financial. House of Assembly are independent. The National Assembly is independent of the executive. Ditto with the House of Assemblies in the states. The problem is because the control, the financial control, is coming from the executives, the governors are becoming overbearing on their various houses of assembly. Not that they are not independent. They are independent, but it is the action of the governors that is making them look as if they don't have autonomy. The Constitution guarantees autonomy, you know, for state legislation. It's simple.
Thank you very much, Barrister Benedict, for coming on NTA Parliamentary News. You're still on NTA Parliamentary News. We now go for a short break.
Are you looking for a short channel to make your business, goods and services go viral? Look no further, as NTA Parliament is your short channel. Take advantage of our wider reach and advertise your products and services on NTA Parliament DSTV channel 370, GoTV channel 126, StarTimes channel 306, and Free TV channel 706. For more inquiries, contact the Marketing Department, NTA Parliament, NTA Headquarters Area 11 Garki Abuja, or call these numbers 080-383-40464 or 080-770-78055. NTA Parliament, strengthening Nigeria's democracy.
Thanks for being there. Now, the House of Representatives says it is playing a pivotal role towards enacting laws that will guarantee safety standards in the country. At a public hearing on the bill seeking to establish the National Safety Regulatory Board, the House leadership emphasized that the 10th Assembly is committed to the security and safety of all citizens.
Safety standards and regulations are critical to the socio-economic development and well-being of any nation. This insight can only be achieved by an efficient public institution which the bill being evaluated today seeks to establish.
It will also play a pivotal role in raising public awareness and education on safety matters, empowering every Nigerian to contribute to a safety-conscious culture.
At an investigative hearing, the House of Representatives Committee on Basic Examination Bodies has queried the West African Examination Council, WAEC, National Office for obtaining a 5 billion naira loan without parliamentary approval.
WAEC took a loan of 5 billion naira to buy a customized calculator. 5 billion naira to buy a customized calculator. Loan in 2022. Did that loan follow due process? You answer yes or no.
The answer is yes, but taken from the convention.
The committee asked WAEC to furnish the House with all relevant documents before its next sitting. And the Ogun State House of Assembly has commended the afforestation of over 1 million economic trees and protection of forest reserves in the state by the Ministry of Forestry. The lawmakers, during engagement with ministries, departments, and agencies of government, called for strengthening of the institutions to meet the objectives set for them at the beginning of the 2024 fiscal year. Yemi Dalemo completes the report.
The mid-year assessment of 2024 budget performance of ministries, departments, and agencies of government afforded the lawmakers the opportunity to examine the performances of each MTAs, commend and suggest ways of improving the performance of others where needed. Thus, the Committee on Forestry, while engaging the Ministry of Forestry, headed by Mr. Taiwo Oludotun, lauded the ministry on the enforcement of boundary lines of the forest reserves in collaboration with the State Ministry of Urban and Physical Planning, as well as encouraging private companies in tree planting as part of their corporate social responsibilities, and also engaging various stakeholders in ensuring the protection of the ecosystem.
Already impressed us with your revenue, and I implore you to continue to improve so we can be more better in the state, because it's part of our revenue in the state.
We also got and got the assistance of FRIN, that is the Forestry Research Institute. We got some seedlings from them. So this year alone, we intend to plant about 2 million trees, and we have commenced it. And so far as at today, I can assure you that what we have planted is well over 500,000.
The Ogun State lawmakers also appraised the budget performance of the Ministry of Youth and Sports, some higher institutions of learning in the state, and equally engages the management of the largest cement company in Africa, whose operation is causing some environmental hazard on its over 50 host communities in Ibeshe, Yewa North area of Ogun State, and resolved to constantly monitor their activities in the interest of mutually beneficial relationships. In Abeokuta, Yemi Dalemo, NTA News.
And that's the size of our package this evening. But remember, you can still watch our programs on our social media handles scrolling on your screen. Thanks for watching, and do have a pleasant evening.